Coronavirus disease, COVID-19, can cause a wide range of signs and symptoms. The most common are fever, dry cough and tiredness. But are the symptoms dependent on the virus variants? Well, joining us to talk more about this is Chika Onuama. He's a Chief Research Fellow at the Nigerian Institute of Research, NIMA. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Millicent. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Great to have you again.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, tell us, how are the new coronavirus, that would be the variants, yes, the latest, how are they different from the old ones?
They have quite a lot of differences. The genome is changing, in relation to what it's encountering the people and all that. But personally, I'm not so worried about the variants as I'm worried about the people. If you can, you mentioned the report you took just before this. You said it was Calabar. I was going through, only one person was wearing the face mask. Only one person. Only one lady on striped white and black. Every other person, no mask. And you see, these are the critical things, simple things that can help us, and see how jam-packed they are. And when you finish this, you go back home, you say, oh, you have malaria. It's not malaria. These are simple. That's why you see other states taking over, because Lagos is a bit more conscious. Delta is now on top. Even as I was looking this morning at the waves using the NCDC data, there was a bit of a spike yesterday, 27th. It went very high. The cases went very high. So it's something we need to all watch. If you go to that report, only one person was wearing masks. Then the issue of variants, that's part of what can cause a spike. Maybe when there are, what people are worried about, the ones that can maybe escape previous antibodies, whether they are from vaccines or maybe from naturally developed, whether you had it before or not. Those kind of things can happen. But the one I'm very excited about, it's the people. I've been trying to talk about this, for us to do a lot more research on it. Why are there people who are severe, why some are asymptomatic, and some are in between? Some of these things are critical for us to know. There's a paper that just came out 2 days ago. They found what they call ADAM9, that it's a gene in those who are severe. Their body is overexpressing that gene. It was published in Science Translational. And they found it in young people without comorbidities, young people that have severe COVID. That was people they found. And then now you used it and checked it in other groups of people, and they found it out. So these are some of the things I also want us to also be looking at, even from our own in our own people, because these are different for different populations. I know, for instance, also blood group O has a lower risk. So you may see people in the same families, and they have differences. Maybe they are all exposed. One does not come down, one comes down. These are a few other things. But the key critical thing I want to, if they didn't take home from all of this, I will say to them, let's remember to wear the masks. Take the simple precautions, washing of our hands, the distances, and all that. I had a young student here in our office. He got it. He said, oh, it was malaria. He was away for a while. By the time he could test, so he was positive. His father got it. But his father was not that lucky. He had to go to isolation center for over 14 days. His blood pressure was, I think it was, say, 180 or something. So young people, remember to wear your mask. You may not feel something, but when you go back home to your parents, your elderly ones. Let me stop there for now. Thank you.
You're right. I mean, that's really what we keep talking about on the program, the whole consciousness. But like you said, even the NCDC officials would say that it's up to the states, the sub-nationals, to continue to drive home the message about how the virus is still with us. But some can argue that based on what the rest of the world is facing and our figures here, that the worst might be over, and this might also be affecting behavior. But that's another issue. On the variants and the symptoms, what can you tell us? Because it's quite interesting what you said about the blood group and the genotype and how it affects people that have come down with COVID, the different reactions. But I guess research is still ongoing with a number of these issues. But in terms of the variants, the ones we've seen so far, Delta being quite a lot around the world, are we going to see newer variants from Delta? And also, your take on the vaccinations and the variants?
So variants always develop. In fact, COVID is a lot less than something like HIV. Variants will always keep coming up. As long as the virus is interacting with human genome, variants will always come up. So what that means is just that, let's say, in a population of people that have different makeups, their genetic makeups, so one is less severe or more severe, and the ones how it's interacting with the people, if you don't have what it needs. I'll give you an example. There's this receptor we call ACE receptor. It's something on the surface of the cell that the virus needs to latch onto to enter the cell. If your body has less of it on the surface, less of the virus will be able to enter and infect, and you won't have so much severity. Now, some of those things, some people have it more, some people don't have it. So these are some of the things where the variants will keep coming. So those that may not need that ACE receptor to go into the cell will now survive and overtake those who need those receptors. So as these viruses interact with the human genome, there will always be variants coming up.
All right. Well, this is a good place to leave it. We hope we can have you join us again on the program to talk more about this pandemic that is still ravaging the world. Thank you so much. We've been speaking to the Chief Research Fellow, Nigerian Institute of Research, NIMR, Mr. Chika Onwama. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.